And baby Faith is suspected of being one of the more than 1,200 children in Jefferson County who are victims of abuse every year. 90 trained special advocates with court-appointed special advocates are here to help those children through the court system and to be the voice the children often don't have.
And some of those stories don't have happy endings, but we found one that does. Here's 12 News anchor Mary Sturgill with Asher's story.
About 3 years ago, there was a very real possibility that Asher Badgett would not be able to run and play like he does today. That if he hadn't been taken out of the abusive situation he was in, he could have ended up with severe brain injury like baby Faith Mason, or even lost his life. But luckily, that is not the case. Jamie Hogue is a CASA volunteer and received Asher's case back in December of 2010.
5 o'clock in the morning, our phone rang, and it was the DA's office calling to say that they just received one of the worst child abuse cases they'd ever seen. There was an 8-week-old boy with 29 broken bones.
That phone call rang the change that would take place in Asher's life.
Okay, I go.
But he had a lot of healing to do first.
He arrived in the ER. The nurses and doctors actually called him the broken baby, because how can you have 29 broken bones and have that not be significant?
At only 8 weeks old, that averages out to 3 broken bones a week in his short life.
He had 23 broken ribs, he had 3 spinal compression fractures, he had a crack in one of his arms, and he had 2 breaks in his left femur. The most significant being the fracture that broke his femur completely in half.
The 4 days Asher spent in the hospital were just the beginning of the healing process.
Because he didn't sustain any life-threatening injuries, he was able to leave after a few days, but he had multiple physician follow-up visits in Houston. He had a body splint because of his broken femur. His bones were broken, but his brain was okay. And that's the big difference between Asher and Faith.
During the investigation into Asher's abuse, he was placed in foster care.
It was one of the hardest things because I was blocked out for 5 months of even seeing him because I had been around him. So, naturally I was, suspected like anybody else.
Hogue says justice was served in Asher's case, and with the support of the adults now surrounding him, including his grandfather, this resilient little boy bounced back.
Jamie Hogue and CASA have been a big part of his life, and he had a wonderful foster mother during those 5 months.
He had CPS workers fighting for him, and in the end, his grandfather and I were able to agree.
That agreement was on what was best for Asher, and that was for Gene Badgett to adopt his grandson.
It was a long, hard situation to go through, but I'm glad I did it. And a lot of paperwork involved, a lot of jumping through hoops.
I've been with CASA 10 years, and Gene is the first blood relative of any of my CASA kids that I've ever felt good about. And it's a perfect ending to what started out as a tragic story.
And to meet Asher today, well, if you didn't know his story, you would never guess how much he's overcome.
Yep. You don't really have to teach him, you guide him and then kind of get out of the way. That's the kind of child that he is.
He is very lucky. Asher Rain Badgett is healthy and active and smart. Oh, he's so smart. And he's perfect.
Yay! He's got a sense of humor. He's always clowning.
He is a perfect happy ending.
In Beaumont, Mary Sturgill, 12 News HD.
Boy, he bounces back up and keeps on going, doesn't he? Hogue tells us that Asher's abuser is in prison for the crime, and little Asher will soon turn 3 years old.
To help other children like Asher have a happy ending, consider becoming a CASA volunteer. There's information on how to do that on our website, 12newsnow.com. Click on the link to CASA's website at the bottom of this story.